All right, ladies and gentlemen, as you saw on the commercial, the revolution will absolutely be digitized. And we're super excited today. We are here for our episode of Coinonomics for December. We have and hold this room once a month. I'm excited today about my guest, but before I introduce my guest to you all, we have for those of you that are on Clubhouse, we have the Digital Revolution Tour site that's up. It is the D for digital, F for financial, R for revolutiontour.com. And I have these fabulous shirts because y'all know I say Satoshi is a black woman. So we have these shirts that say Satoshi is a black woman. And they're absolutely gorgeous. The merch is on sale on the Financial Digital Revolution Tour site. Or let me say that the right way, the Digital Financial Revolution Tour site. And we will be coming to a city near you in 2022, just in case you didn't know. So our merch is starting to be put up there, and purchasing the merch is a way that we can just support the tour and just get the word out about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency and all those things. So without further ado, again, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Coinonomics with Mr. Wall Street, aka the Blockchain Oracle. Now, this brother I met actually a couple of years ago when we first opened our place, Crypto Blockchain Plug. And when I met this gentleman, I had no idea what a powerhouse he was. And in fact, he came in as trendy as ever. This is the trendiest cat I've ever seen. And I said, this dude is over the top. But when he opened his mouth and he started talking, I knew that he was someone that I would have to seek counsel with. I seek counsel with him in all things related to cryptocurrency. And like, I'm not being over the top about that. I am dead serious. When I don't understand something, when I need someone to run something by, when I can't figure something out, this is the gentleman that I actually call and confide in, and really just helps me get on track. So we've got some things to learn about him first, and then I'm going to let him do what he does best, and that is be the blockchain oracle. And you all will understand why we say the best for last in 2022, because this dude knows his stuff. And when I say he knows his stuff, you're going to see in just a few minutes. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce to some of you and present to others I'm going to give you his name first. His real name is Reggie Ringgold, but we call him AKA Mr. Wall Street, AKA now the Blockchain Oracle. Welcome, Mr. Wall Street. How are you today?
I'm great. That was a wonderful introduction to how's everybody out in Clubhouse and TV land.
Everybody is great. I know they are. They're excited to see and hear you. And again, we're streaming for those of you who want to see, because a dude, his hat says Rich. This dude is just something else, but you'll get a chance to learn about him. So Reggie, we're in Coinonomics, and we have been talking to the community about coins. We've been talking to the community about the blockchain. We've really been trying to educate our community. But before we kind of dive in and let you dissect what's going on in the cryptocurrency space, tell us a little bit about you, who you are, how did you grow up, where did you grow up? Just tell us a little bit about that.
I started out in Oakland, California, right down the street from UC Berkeley. I was fortunate enough to go to UC Berkeley and study blockchain recently. I finished their blockchain program. It was a nice program. But growing up, I couldn't really afford to, go to school and take care of my son, who I had at an early age. So I dropped out and started focusing on, investing and trading. Initially, trading didn't go so well. I went more so the real estate route because in 2002, real estate was booming. I was trading a bit, but it wasn't working well until 2008. I was kind of forced to start focusing on trading. Went into the Forex market and got very successful quickly, and then moved to the futures market where things, are a little bit more intensive as far as being there as a day trader. Worked on algorithms and indicators, created my own trading style, eventually built my family office. And with my family office, we structured the family office to focus more on blockchain. We even went as far as creating an exchange very similar to what Binance has today and what you see with Fixed. But because I don't have the complexion for protection, they shut it down. They shut it down like quick, before we could even open or launch. Right now, Sam Bankman-Fried, the guy, he came out after I did and is worth probably $25 billion. They left him alone. There's a lot of different ecosystems that are out now that are, successful, and then some that are stifled, due to regulators not seeing the green light or the light, so to speak. Ripple's in the same situation that I was in. I was in a 2-year battle with the SEC. Just due to us being innovative, breaking through the glass ceiling. We were like one of the very first groups out there to come out. Our goal was to tokenize everything, really tokenize derivatives, but understanding the power of blockchain and smart contracts and distributed ledger technology, and just wanting to take advantage of it. We built, I would say I've had a hand in building a lot of the programs, ecosystems, and systems that you see out there today, but due to NDAs, I'm on my Satoshi Nakamoto, just behind the scenes, understanding that until the legacy banking system gets a stronghold in understanding blockchain and are able to integrate their analog systems that are very slow. Think VCR compared to Walkman, but now we're moving to streaming. They're very slow, and most of their networks, their systems depend on the legacy system the way it is. Smart contracts and blockchain technology will gut a lot of jobs. So we saw an opportunity that was there then and is still here now to take advantage of going in and being able to cut costs in terms of what you're bringing to market, but also have the geographical landscape be broadened, in terms of the horizon, in terms of who you can market to, who you can go in and solicit to. Right now, you see companies like Facebook being very ambitious to create not only a metaverse, but they were looking to create a token. It was the Diem token, I believe, but they received a lot of backlash from regulators, mainly because they're large, and the regulators understand what cryptocurrency can do, so they spread a lot of fear, uncertainty, and doubt. We've seen it early. I mean, even you at Crypto Blockchain Plug, Najah, seeing it early. Now I'm fully in crypto. I don't really have much money in the banking system, understanding where things are going, and the pandemic has further confirmed my fears of a worse depression coming than we've seen in previous years. So I've been an advocate of blockchain, spreading the word and just being as private as I can. I'm not all that open on social media. I don't show my life like most people do. I call it FedGram, if anything. But just behind the scenes, affecting change, bridging the inequality gap, making sure that we are in these boardrooms, making sure that we own these governance tokens and have a voice, because the only way we're going to eradicate racism and to bridge this inequality gap and change the current paradigm is to have, a stake, in these ecosystems, that are building things that are improving our everyday lives, like Uber, Airbnb, etc. So now that the you could say that the space has gotten bigger in terms of the people that are operating in it, it's easy to kind of work without having so much attention directed at what you're doing. There's too many of us now for the regulators to go after everybody. So if we don't get, with the times and keep, we see the regulators, if they keep stifling innovation, we're going to lose the race to countries like China and Russia. So that's kind of where I got my start. That's the long story, if you will.
No, that's a great story, and it's a humble story. I will have to say that, because this brother, oh my goodness, when you peel back these layers, it is not fake, it is not phony. This brother has, when you talk about self-sovereignty, when you talk about knowing what needs to happen for our community to do what we need to do. This brother definitely has the answers and lives by it. And I cannot stress it enough when I say that this is a gentleman that I call on for anything in this space because he definitely has the answer. I just really quickly, because we are here for Coinonomics, we're going to dig into coins and we're going to dig into the tokenomics of coins. I want to know, you were a successful Forex trader. You've been successful trading and doing everything. I mean, I've watched you. I brought my children to learn, to sit under your tutelage, to learn how to trade. We've been to your boot camps. We've done a lot of things, but I am really interested in how or what got sparked your interest when it came to Bitcoin specifically.
Well, I was lecturing and coaching an online trading academy, among other networks, where I would do lectures and I would teach. And this was in 2013. They were paying me to do these lectures, right? So we were having a conference and they were talking about adding digital assets, into the curriculum, and they were going to pay somebody to write on this curriculum, and they were going to pay additional money to go and do lectures and teach on it. So I was getting paid $1,000 a day, right, to teach Forex, to teach futures and stocks. So I'm like, look, I need to add another asset class under my belt so I can collect another check. So that's how it started. They incentivized me to go out and learn about it. And like when I was looking it up back then, I'm like, well, shoot, there is no experts, there is no curriculum, there's no information on this stuff. It was very hard pressed to find information. There wasn't even a Coinbase. Like this stuff didn't exist. So for me, I had to dig deep. Go in and go into the forums, the Reddit forums and stuff like that to gain as much information. There weren't many YouTube videos on it. And because I was incentivized financially to become an expert on it and going in front of a crowd and talking about it, I had to make sure that I knew what I was talking about. So you can imagine, this is like 9 years ago, so I'm almost 10 years in. As it pertains to crypto, where others call themselves an expert, I look back at their resume and their curriculum vitae and their LinkedIn, and they weren't in this space. Like you go to my Facebook, my LinkedIn, I've been talking about this stuff for years, and it's finally good to see everybody else, here with me. We're not alone in the room anymore. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm glad, and I'm so happy to again be in your presence and really actually share you with those that don't know. This is my crypto spiritual guidance person here. So you into Bitcoin, you're trading Forex, you're trading Bitcoin successfully, I might add. And as humble as he is, he's probably the only person that will roll up on you right now in a Ferrari with orange brakes and orange piping on his seats, and he's just orange peeled all the way. So you decided to open an exchange. You had your 2-year battle with the SEC, but in that, you created or have helped people create different coins and tokens. And I know this because I know what you do in this space. And again, very behind the scenes. So what we're trying to do today is really help our community understand what tokens and coins they need to get involved with, or what tokens and coins they need to stay away from and why. So I want you to talk about all the people that walk into my office that I call you and say, Reggie, you need to talk to these folks that's coming up with these coins and they have no idea. Let's talk about tokenomics. What is tokenomics and why is it important when you're investing your hard-earned money? And not the day traders, not the traders at all, but those individuals who think they're going to buy and hold. Why is tokenomics important?
So tokenomics is extremely important. You could think of tokenomics very similar to investing in a stock in the stock market. Best advice people will give you is invest in companies that you're familiar with, invest in products that you use. So if you think about a lot of companies in the stock market, let's think about a company that is a shell or something sold out of a boiler room with no products and no services. It'd be very hard pressed for that coin or let's say that stock, shall I say, to have a good value or valuation. People really wouldn't want to buy it because there really isn't much demand behind it. So when you think about utility, a lot of these tokens, they don't have utility. Their utility is copying Bitcoin or some other utility that may have been successful. One of the tokens that is very popular, I hate it, is Ethereum. The gas fees on Ethereum is they aren't really practical for mass adoption. We also have seen almost 13 forks in the last 7 years. That means they just copy everybody's protocol that is getting it right, so to speak, by forking their current protocol. We're seeing that now by ETH2 coming out and then moving from a proof of work to a proof of stake. Right now, the Bitcoin, blockchain, the whole Bitcoin ecosystem, I would say is the safest investment, in crypto right now, just due to the longevity of the chain, the network, and the history of transactions that we have. Also, the market cap. The market cap is pretty good there. But as far as other coins that are trying to do the same thing that has already been done, right, such as Bitcoin, it's a no-no. That's not a utility, right? You have to think about it. Bitcoin is gold 2.0. And a lot of times, Najah, you'll have people come in and we'll talk about their token and their project, and I have to be the bearer of bad news to explain to them that their token isn't really doing anything special as it pertains to tokenomics or having a utility. Best analogy I can give is think about cars. My cars are autonomous. They drive themselves. My vacuum cleaner vacuums the floor by itself. So my token should be, able to operate on its own with a decentralized model and programmable validators or algorithms, so to speak, smart contracts that help, determine the flow of that ecosystem. Human intervention is where we've seen the legacy banking system fail, or the legacy system in general. Just the whole, corporate, world. There's a lack of trust. One thing that blockchain provides is a trustless environment, where you have proof of stake, proof of work, proof of delivery. You can go on and on. Proof of history, another one from Solana, which is a very good blockchain due to its transaction speed and the fees per transaction. Right now, Ethereum's winning the race due to NFTs, due to DeFi, and a lot of people building on Ethereum's blockchain. You can think of Ethereum much like the App Store, right? And the apps that you see in the App Store, it's very similar and reminiscent to the coins that we see out there. If I were to invest in anything related to Ethereum, i.e. most of the coins that are on the Ethereum blockchain, I would just invest in the Ethereum token itself. Right now, there's interoperability issues between most of these blockchains. Best analogy I can give, and I gave this during my lecture at Wharton. I went to Wharton for FinTech, and we didn't know much about DeFi at the time, but I was speaking on how these blockchains are siloed on islands. And if you think about the email, for instance, with email, you can email Gmail to Yahoo or AOL to Yahoo, but with blockchain, you can't go Ethereum to Bitcoin or Solana to Cardano, right? You send tokens to the wrong blockchain, they're lost and gone forever. Now, there's wormholes that have been created to be able to port assets from one blockchain to the other, but just the very matter of sending tokens from one wallet to the next, they're not interoperable, which means these smart contracts don't talk to each other, nor do the smart contracts talk to the legacy banking systems. Right now, the only oracles that we have are Chainlink and Graph, and in order to have NFTs be able to be used for their true purpose, we're going to need more data to be fed to these oracles so that the smart contracts can be able to determine a state of mind of what's correct and what's not, what's true and what's not, etc. So we're very far off in terms of being able to see these blockchains being interoperable. But with that being said, if I were to recommend tokens, I used to have a long-term horizon, Najah, a very long-term horizon up until Yahoo, or I think it was Amazon's. Their servers went down. Do you remember the servers went down about a couple of weeks ago?
Yes, sir, I do.
Several blockchain ecosystems went down. So the curtain got pulled from a lot of these guys, right? Solana included. I got millions in Solana, and for me to see what happened in terms of their blockchain go down from a DDoS attack and their blockchain had troubles a couple of months ago. And this is just due to centralization issues. But in order to get this speed, right, you have to compromise some of the security with decentralization. You can't have a network with nodes spread all over the place and have speed. There's going to be latency. So in order for you to be able to offset that, you kind of have to have a hybrid system. I'm looking more towards Hyperledger. It's a good token, HBAR. We'll see if Hyperledger's a way that they can maybe work out some of this stuff. But we have quantum computers coming, and blockchain does have some things it needs to sort out as these quantum computers come in, because if quantum computers are here and they're able to hack a blockchain, it could be trouble for all blockchains. So I've got my eyes on a short-term horizon with a lot of these coins, meaning I sold off a lot of my Ethereum, and I've been spreading it around, diversifying. I would say Mana's a good token. Sand is a good token. These are metaverse plays. Axie Infinity is a really good one. Why? They all have utility. I want to give you a good analogy. Think about Apple, right? Everyone loves their iPhones, and everybody uses Apple products in one way or another. Imagine if Apple said that instead of US dollars, right, which are pretty much 80% digital around the world anyway, they said instead of US dollars, we'll create an Apple token, right? And with this Apple token, they ain't even got to give you, a discount with using it to buy. It could just be straight up dollar for dollar, parity to the dollar, right? If they said that there's an Apple token that you now have to have in order to pay your phone bill, buy your Apple computer, or buy that iPhone, hell, that friction wouldn't be an issue to none of us, right? We'd be holding us some Apple tokens, right? That means that utility is automatically there because Apple provides utility to most of our everyday lives. But you ask, well, why does Apple not have a token? With too much regulation and red tape, as far as investment bankers are concerned, the equity markets are concerned. Let's face it, there's no need for the stock market. There's no need for a stockbroker or a stock exchange when we have smart contracts, when we have DeFi and distributed ledger technology. I mean, there's Uniswap, Pancake Swap, right? These are liquidity pools, guys. When you are able to go in and just connect your wallet and start trading, that means I could come straight out of jail, be a felon with 10 strikes, right? All kind of, I'm not recommending it, right? But most of these people are blocked from doing any kind of transactions financially. Well, blockchain is, is not part and parcel. It doesn't discriminate, right? Crypto doesn't discriminate. So it's the only chance we have to bridge the inequality gap. So for those of you out there, you should be buying crypto in small, consistent increments. A lot of these apps like Coinbase and Cash App will let you drip it in there. You can buy it on a weekly interval. Although I don't recommend Coinbase, don't recommend Cash App or Robinhood. I hate all of those apps. If you would ask me why, none of it is on chain. You might as well be demo trading. You don't put it on the blockchain until you move it out of the platform. So it's not your keys, not your crypto. And most of you are blocked when you try to move it off the platform. A lot of people don't even understand the fees inherent with a lot of these blockchains, or how slow the blockchains really are, how they're really not practical when it comes to mass adoption. It baffles me with the people still building on Ethereum, compared to what we're seeing with Solana, with Avalanche, right, with Terra, right? And by the way, these are all good coins that I'm giving you guys right now.
Wow. Well, I'm still, I'm always sitting at your feet, Mr. Miyagi, just learning. Like this dude puts me in some situations where it forces me to critically think. And I'm just sitting here right now because there's so many questions I want to ask, and I'm going to leave some of it to the audience in a few minutes. But I want to back up because I shared with the community on several occasions that these coin creators, centralized coin creators, we have price tags on our forehead, meaning the Black community.
Correct.
And they do these rug pulls and they're sitting back laughing themselves to the bank. Yep. And I want you to just explain to them why some of these coins are pushed, how they're pushed, and why it's so critically important that they get us involved. So tell us
Yeah,
a
look,
little.
the way that Wall Street works is a lot of the banks and institutions trade on the same side, and they're trading with a lot of size. And when they want to get out, they can't sell to their counterparts, so they sell to us. We provide liquidity for most of the big banks to get out of their position. In order to get us to buy, they use Kramer and Bloomberg in order to push certain things that are on their sell list internally, but they're put maybe on the buy list in the stock market. The same goes for crypto when you're talking about Dogecoin and Shiba Inu or Floki Inu. I mean, there's so many of these coins. One of the funny ones was Squid Game. Squid Game came out with a coin. The team wasn't Detox. Write that down. Detox team means like you literally know who the team is. And it's not just some fake person where they just rip some pictures off of somewhere for somebody that looks good. You should be able to click that LinkedIn, click a Instagram or Facebook profile and be able to see and know who this person is. They should have a Twitter. They should have a Discord, and things should be active in these communities. You can know they're active by people that are actively typing, people that are online versus how many people are actually inside the group. A lot of these things are just little safeguards that you can use to be able to determine, if the token is safe. Another thing is to look at the blockchain, look at the smart contract, look at the lock liquidity. A lot of these tokens, they're coming out with gimmicks where they're paying you a lot, but the inflation on the token can typically cause the coin to either, go down over time, which is a slow burn, or just a straight rug pull where they just have a back door on the smart contract that's holding most of the tokens. A lot of these coins that are rug pools are operate on these automated market makers like Uniswap, PancakeSwap, 1inch, and all that good stuff, Radium. These things don't vet. There's no vetting. The one thing that the stock market does do is they vet listings and offerings before they're put on there. Well, doesn't happen in crypto. All you have to do is put a little bit of liquidity into a liquidity pool so you can trade against it. Problem is, if there's a back door on the smart contract, or let's say a duplicate account, where they're able to move money around, backdoor it, so to speak, they can pretty much siphon all the money from the ecosystem quickly. Another thing is just being able to take and sell their coins from having a large holding. You got to watch for whales. If there's too many tokens concentrated in, too many wallets, and you can again see this on the blockchain. This is something that you should watch out for. Shiba Inu was a good example. They gave half the token supply to Vitalik. Vitalik gave it away to charity, half to charity, and then took the rest and sent it to a black hole. It caused half the token's value to pretty much tank overnight. A lot of these coins, any coin that you see, even a person like Elon Musk, who is not an investor, he's not a trader, he's not a market analyst, but yet he's able to move a coin like Dogecoin. These are hyped investments. So most people that are getting into these investments, they hodl, hold on for dear life. They have no exit strategy in sight. They call it paper hands. That means you're buying in with no actual profit target. Whereas a person like Elon Musk, he's getting in trying to make a quick profit. So he's going to get in, he's getting out. I do the same thing, hop in, hop out. I have a time horizon. I lost money today on a trade, which is very rare. But for me to lose money is a good thing because I still get to keep some of my capital. A lot of you guys will bleed all the way till you have pretty much nothing in the account. Money, it's like inventory. It's what we use to be able to have margin to take more investments. There's been tokens out there. One of my plays, Rich Quack, it was a meme coin. It has frictionless yield, which means it allows you to stake it without having to physically stake it. That means just from holding the coin, they give you rewards. Well, you were able to turn $100 to $1 million with this coin just by getting in early. So look at the utility. Ask yourself, why would you buy this coin, or why would anybody else buy the coin? Sandbox, the token I gave you earlier, Sand, very popular coin because people are building in that world. Same thing with Decentralized. You need mana to buy things, plots of land, wood, etc., things to be able to build inside Decentralized. So therefore, there is a demand for that token, which no matter what price it is going to be driven higher because it's just used as a medium of exchange to get in and out and navigate within that ecosystem. So, if you're buying a token just because someone told you to buy it, or because you hear hashtag Doge or hashtag Shiba Inu, a lot of times I'm not saying it's a bad investment, but you need to have a short-term investment horizon. That means get your capital back, at least your initial investment back. A lot of you guys are doubling your money within a couple of days, tripling your money in a couple of days. Take your initial capital investment out, put it in Bitcoin. If you still like Ethereum, put it in Ethereum, put it in something that's safe. It's not going to be as volatile as a lot of the other coins where you can lose the value relatively quickly. And the same applies for these JPEGs, my bad, NFTs. I mean, it's it's a lot to be said about these pictures that are floating around for millions. I've got some crypto punks and some apes, and I've sold some as well. I've been gifted a few. I've sold a few. I sold them early on because if someone's going to pay me for it, it's a flip. There's a means to an end. I'm getting in at a low price point, selling at a higher price point. This again, it's a different way of trading, but it's not as liquid. A lot of these NFTs, when you buy in at a certain price, when the hype has died down, there is no secondary market for you to go in and buy back. I understand if it's your identity, you got this little ape, and this thing is your life, and it's what you want to put on as a flex. I flex my Lamborghinis and my houses and yachts. I don't really flex pictures. We'll flex the stuff we have in pictures. I don't know when we switch to just flexing pictures. So be smart, guys. Right now, it's popular. Later on down the road, NFTs will be a part of technology that comes in your Photoshop app or something you're able to do on Facebook or Instagram. For you to take a picture and go out and put out 10,000 of them and think you're going to get rich overnight. Well, if your fans weren't buying your stuff as is, what makes you think creating friction, right? Creating a challenge for them to now have to understand Web3 and wallets and going in and exchanging this for this digital item. I mean, it's even harder for them. So it doesn't mean that, you're going to be able to be successful just doing an NFT drop because, you've come up with this bright idea, or you may have great art rendering, so to speak. Some of the things that we're working on are augmented reality in the metaverse, 3D AR NFTs. So imagine your NFT going from 2D to 3D and being able to dance, right, move around. A lot of this stuff can't be done using regular computing power. So we're working with Render Network. Look that up, Render token. It's RNDR. That's a freebie for you guys. This should be a very, very big token when it comes out. It's in beta stage. They're talking about decentralizing computing power. If metaverse is going to be big as they anticipated being, we're going to need to have a lot of artists that are able to create these renderings relatively quickly, right? In fact, we're working on it now. It takes a lot of computing power. So Render Network has developed a blockchain for decentralizing GPU. So I don't want to get too technical, but let's just say it improves your everyday life, much like the Ubers and Airbnbs of the world, which you should all be invested in all of these things. Guys, it's never been as easy as it is now. I can invest in stock with Cash App using fractional shares, investing dollars at a time. There's no more excuses. It's about ownership now. You have the same access as the big bankers on Wall Street. What are you going to do with it is the difference. I'm self-sufficient. I never have to work another day in my life because of some of the choices that I've made at the timing that I made them. And I'm continuing to make good choices with my investments. As it pertains to legacy, as it pertains to fiat, as it pertains to the banking system and Uncle Sam, I'm broke. I don't got much. You know what I mean? I don't got much. You can't tax me for nothing. You can't sue me for nothing because I don't have much in his system. It's the first time that us as a people, we can actually have wealth and be hiding in plain sight and have no idea what you have. Again, as things start moving towards these QR codes and wallets and digital assets, you'll start to understand the non-custodial nature of blockchain. Being able to play the game, invest, but still keep custody of your assets due to using session keys on your wallet, right? On your browser or on your phone. I'm just giving you guys hints. This stuff exists now. And I can take it and I can send it. Second here. You send it to companies like this. I help build this stuff here too. You can send it to companies like that. There's BitPay, the Cash App. You can send the money there and you can be cashing out. I used to play games like Grand Theft Auto and Mafia, and I love those games. And I used to amass millions, Najah, on those games. And I told myself, I said, man, I wish I could take this money and convert it to the real world. I would be rich. And today, it seems more likely that this is going to be how the future is moving. In-game assets being exchanged. My son, for the last 3 years, all he's ever wanted was Fortnite skins. I mean, like this year for Christmas, I sent him $5,000, for his Christmas gift this month because he had straight A's. He wants to spend all of that inside Fortnite. What can I say, right? But Fortnite's a $40 billion industry. Problem with Fortnite is you can't take those assets and resell them. You can't port those assets into other games. Well, the metaverse, NFTs, this technology will allow us to be able to do so. And this is what you're seeing in Sandbox. This is what you're seeing in Decentralized and Axie Infinity. These play to earn games. You even got move to earn. Listen to what I just said, guys. Move to earn. The token out there coming out to NFT project called Steppen, STEP''N. It's a utility. Very similar to those watches, the Apple watches, right? Apple watches, you start walking around, and this sweat coin was a good example. You move around, you start earning sweat coin. Well, with Steppen, it's the same thing, very similar. All right, they use the watch and the IoT, that's Internet of Things. This data, right? They're taking the data and able to use that to have you mining crypto, just moving, right? Also, where to earn. Imagine digital collectibles or digital wearables. We're working on an environment where when you go into a portal, the money that's spent for ads to be put up, let's say in Times Square, is shared with the people in the portal playing and building things. So the future is bright. Where are you going to be positioned? You're going to be an investor, you're going to be a spectator, right? The choice is yours.
Wow, wow, and wow. So I hope that you all got some of those jewels. And if you did not, you need to go get a replay and listen to that again and slow it down because he dropped a bunch of gems in there. I just really quickly, because, we're here at Coinonomics. I know that you are a master trader. I know that you're successful. And when I say a lot of times to folks that traders are not typically successful, I do know that for a fact, and I do know how successful you have been. And as you just stated, very humbly, that you lost a little bit of money today, which is not usual. And so we do know that, and I know that because we follow trades and we've been in some things with you, which you allow us to do as your students. I want everybody to hear really how diligent you are in, particularly in the cryptocurrency space. What time does it take to trade in the crypto space? Like, how often do you have us waking up to trade, which is why I don't trade anymore?
All day. Like, the funny thing I hear people ask me all the time, can I watch you trade? Like, I have people that pay me $5,000 a day to just like follow me around, and just kind of watch me do my thing. Mainly because if you want to watch me trade, you got to follow me. I don't trade just on a computer anymore. I mean, I will, at times, but most of it's done on the phone. I have a philosophy. I'm like a farmer, right? Where, if I'm gonna plant these seeds and I want them to harvest, next season, I'm gonna have to plant the same seeds and harvest again. So I used to go in and I would get into trades. Now I live in the market. I live in these assets. And then we'll scale out as we need. When I say scale out, we use stable coins to scale out. Tether, USDC, TUSD, the DAI stable coin. I like DAI and USDC the best because they have good reserves. And a lot of this stuff use proof of assets with cryptographic audit trail, guys. We're talking asset-backed stable coins. It's moving to my ears. So, we use these things, and with T0 settlement, things move real fast in crypto. So with everything I've been through, the government, I got to be non-custodial. We have to stay private behind the scenes, so they can't get me shillings. I'm probably sure they're listening right now. I'm pretty broke these days, though. But, for the most part, being non-custodial, it's anonymity, guys. You're anonymous. They don't know whose wallet it is. When you trade with Coinbases and PayPal, I don't even barely know the names I don't use them. PayPal and Cash App, or even Gemini, you have to KYC, and a lot of times, that stuff's tied to to you in your wallet. I don't like receiving crypto from novice, because the moment that this is my wallet and you sent me crypto, all they got to do is squeeze you to ask you whose wallet is this, and then there goes the forensic accounting, where they can use blockchain analytics, where now blockchain can become your undoing. So blockchain has become a savior to a lot of us. It's helped countries dodge sanctions and get. I'm a firm believer in not in getting your money out of the government, but getting the government out of your money. So crypto's done a good job of getting the government out of our money, but a lot of people, due to a lack of knowledge of crypto, or a lot of the FUD, the fear, uncertainty, and doubt that spread, they're going about it all wrong. Not your keys, not your crypto. I hear the horror stories about how people get hacked from Coinbase because they have their private keys in their phone, or you're accessing this account from your email. All it takes is somebody to hack your email or hack your phone. I've seen people with $250,000 NFTs, $250,000 pictures in their wallet, right, in their phone, in their MetaMask, with no biometrics, with private keys stored in a notepad, or the passphrase. I mean, this is not safe practices. The safest practices are hardware wallets. Okay, these hardware wallets, these are offline, air gap. Okay, you got ones like Ledger, Treasure. There's a whole bunch of them, guys. SafePal has a hardware wallet. Get you a hardware wallet. All right, you can get on down there to crypto, blockchain plug. Okay, they got hardware wallets. If you ever been in there, you gotta get you one. Okay, leaving your money on Coinbase, you might as well leave your money in the bank. Okay, right? At least there it's a little safer. They people can't get into your bank account as easy as they could get into your crypto exchange account. So I hear a lot about taxes too on crypto. I mean, I'm from decentralized market. I come from Forex. Forex is decentralized. I'm a perpetual traveler. That means I travel a lot. I'm all over the world. I prefer to make my money globally, and I do it on a laptop. I do it on the phone, and I'm a firm believer that if I owe you money, I don't mind paying my debts, but we got to shake hands. I mean, every check that I've ever cashed somebody out, anybody ever paid, we shook hands. If it was a big enough check, right? We sat down, we had a meeting of the minds, and we shook hands. I don't got no problem with Uncle Sam. He can come get his money. I got some of his money too. He can come get it, but he's gonna have to shake my hand to get it.
Oh, brother, that is Mr. Wall Street, y'all. So our blockchain oracle, and I know we have some questions. There's a couple of hands raised. Well, one hand is raised on Clubhouse, but I know that we have some individuals that are live. So I'm going to bring up CG Investments on Clubhouse, and then we will, if we can get CG Investments up. All right, welcome.
CG Investments. Hey, how you doing? Derek here.
Hi, Derek.
Hey, how's it going, Gary?
How you doing? Said a lot of great things. I'm very interested in the idea of now I have a lot of these platforms. I have actually bought a lot of my cryptocurrency through Coinbase, through crypto.com, and a few other platforms. Started out with Robinhood. But I hear you saying to remove your stuff off of these platforms. I did. I think I talked to the room not too long ago about buying a Ledger Nano X. I did purchase that.
Yeah.
I am hearing the whole migration of people trying to remove all their money out of the bank into cryptocurrency. And, but when you're trying to get loans and things like that, how are you able to secure that? Are banks starting to recognize people's crypto wallets and say, okay, we're willing to loan you money to buy, X, Y, Z, or what?
Well, you should be using corporate credit. If you use corporate credit effectively, and what you do personally shouldn't be affected by, the business. Obviously, you're always going to be plagued, with the choice of privacy or liquidity. If I'm trying to get capital, right? If I'm trying to raise money, funding, credit, etc., and I can't have privacy at the same time. So you kind of have to, you know, you have to ask yourself, what do you want? What are you looking for? Personally, you should always be looking for privacy because we have corporate credit, because we have access to entities. The problem is you can't get into crypto with businesses right now unless you go to Circle.
Right. And so the main thing I'm looking for is, like, of course, I think I want to stay private as much as possible. I really don't like dealing with the banks if I don't have to. I kind of spent most of my life trying to circumvent using the banks, but I have, acquired a few lines of credit, things to that effect, to work on my real estate portfolio, as well as a few other things. But I am looking at, again, removing a lot of my finances, my IRA and things like that off of those type of platforms, and really moving up to the crypto platform.
Right. It's easy to move money around before you invest it or move it into crypto. I mean, you could flow money through 2-3 companies, and it can look like profit to those 3 companies before you actually, spent it. Does that make sense? So I wouldn't look at going into crypto or moving all your assets into crypto. And I'm not recommending anybody to do that. I'm not giving advice. I'm not trying to have the feds knocking on my door. But I mean, you don't necessarily have to worry about losing revenue or the ability to get credit from investments that are made that kind of just go into thin air, so to speak.
Let's see here. And thank you for that question, Derek. And we have Tanisha that's up, but I want to look, hold on 2 seconds, Tanisha, real quick. We got a couple questions online, but Marshall asks, how are you keeping track of all of your trades for tax purposes? What methods do you recommend?
Well, for the record, I'm not in America. So the country I'm in, we don't have much tax. Over here in Dubai, not much tax. Also, I find myself in Morocco a lot. So in terms of the U.S. or places that do have tax, you're only taxed once it touches the ground. That means once you cash out crypto to fiat, if they're looking at the transaction as you made profit, companies like Coinbase, they're going to report to the IRS. Companies like Crypto.com, they're going to report to the IRS. So it's the same as any investment. Once you sell off crypto and you make profit, that profit will be looked at as income, and whatever tax base or tax rate you're in, you'll be treated accordingly. So a little tool, a little tidbit for you guys. You can spend your crypto. I don't really cash out. That makes sense.
All right. Well, thank you for that. And then Tanisha, just give me one other quick one and then you're up. So Melanie said, I heard you say interoperability. What do you think of Quant? QUANT.
Quant is nice. The only problem is a lot of these blockchains and ecosystems would require us to go onto their blockchain and operate within their ecosystem rather than it being a bridge. Lightning Network, Polygon, which is Matic, these are like layer 2 solutions that have, kind of acted like bridges, but they don't solve the solution of interoperability, being able to go from, data and asset inside one blockchain, inside one smart contract or wallet, all the way into a completely different one. Now, you've got Polkadot. Polkadot is a very good ecosystem that is building parachains. That means that they're building side chains specifically for bridges to create interoperability between these blockchains. We'll see what happens. But the problem is a lot of these ecosystems require you to go to their world, to their island. It's much like Facebook or Meta's whole horizon. They can build a metaverse, but everybody inside that metaverse can't communicate to people inside Sandbox or Decentralized. The one that's going to win is the one that can be able to communicate amongst these different blockchains. And it's not going to be what you do to get everyone to come to your blockchain. It's building to be able to communicate with the different blockchains. And most of these ecosystems are about money grabs. They're not looking into the future. They're looking what they can do in the short run to be able to get market cap enough to get rich, rather than change the world.
All right. Well, Tanisha, you are up, and thank you for that. Tanisha, welcome to the stage.
Hi, Najah, and thank you so much, Mr. Wall Street. My question is very basic. I like to know, how do we access the replays? That's one question. The second is for Mr. Wall Street to know whether or not you, I guess, teach any courses. And the last one is a comment. I am going to get a necklace just like yours.
So I do a lot of teaching and lecturing. Right now, I just inked a deal with Trading TV, and I'm getting my own show where I'll be kind of doing something similar to like Rhapsody of the Basement mixed with like Jim Cramer's Mad Money. It's kind of like adding a cool twist to it. It's going to be called Digital Streets. I'll be giving out a lot of information on these shows, like that I used to sell. This is one of the boot camp, my Forex boot camp.
This is boot camp that I took with Reggie.
Yeah. So, but you can go to I'm Academy. I have a partnership with them where I sold like a lot of my curriculum there. I've created a lot of their resources and tools. As far as mentorship, there's going to be a channel that's subscription based on Trading TV where you'll be able to go in and access my courses and also access some of the sessions. And then there's live streaming. The platform we're building over there at Trading TV is going to allow you to be on my live stream. And if I'm talking about an asset, you'll be able to trade that asset directly off the screen. So Tobias is the founder and CEO of Trading TV. He was nice enough to pat me on the shoulder to do a partnership, just to be able to bring my content to the masses, because he feels that our people really need it and are hungry for it right now in today's times, considering the lockdown has caused people to look for more ways to create income that doesn't depend on a job.
Thank you. And where does Trading TV, like that just streams live? I find that on YouTube.
Yeah, you go to trading.tv. It's like Twitch or YouTube, but for traders and financial content. So you'll see me be able to trade live. You'll be seeing me going in and doing analysis. You on live streams, you'll be able to talk about an investment, and I'll go over it. My philosophy is, if it doesn't have a ticker or a chart where you can look at its performance, the volume, liquidity, et cetera, then we don't invest in it. So this is a way you'll be able to get access to me without the high price tag. I charge a lot to, billionaires, for them to be able to, have me rearrange their portfolio or get them set up in crypto the right way. So I'm now at a point where the mentorship is not something I'm really passionate about anymore, because time, you can't put a price tag on it, right? But I will say this, before I forget, I'm NFTing my time. I believe the end of Q1 will be NFTing blocks of hours of my time based on a reverse Dutch auction, where it'll start lower and it'll go higher in tiers as the time blocks NFTs are being sold. So yeah.
This dude is something else. Thank you for that question, Tanisha. And next we have Real Jared. And then I want to also just let the last person, who is Michael Montgomery, I want you to know we're going to get to your question. And then, but let's do Real Jared really quick as we near the top of the hour. So Real Jared, welcome to the call.
Yeah, for having me. Appreciate the time, Mr. Wall Street. My question is, what's your opinion, and have you seen any current projects? I heard you just speak about Polygon, where old systems such as real estate, the medical industry, are leveraging smart contracts to simplify that processing system. So an example, you close on a house. Right now, because a lot of that stuff is manual and archaic, it takes time versus moving that stuff into a a blockchain or Ethereum type of process to where it's instantaneous.
Yeah, there's a company out of Mexico. I forgot its name. It's using blockchain technology to do its closing and of its escrow. There's also a lot of companies in the stock market that are integrating blockchain into their logistics and their settlement processes. So this is something that's it's becoming more and more mass adopted as companies and enterprises see the power of blockchain. I would say that some of these companies aren't looking in the direction to create a token per se, but could be using smart contracts. A perfect example, Airbnb and Uber and Lyft, they're all using blockchain technology and smart contract capabilities, but there's no token, right? There's no token. They chose to go the traditional route, the traditional equities route. But it doesn't mean that the blockchain technology hasn't created a great model for those companies. Same thing with the ride scooters and the Lime scooters, the little bikes that we see in our cities around town. This is all blockchain technology at its finest. So as more and more people start to understand blockchain technology, we will see it almost be like a standard of practice, like food with FDA approval, and certain seals of approval, or medicine, that has certain seals and stamps on it to show that it is, approved. It'll be the norm for businesses to be able to talk about how blockchain's integrated to create, a trustless environment, so to speak. So you're right. Another thing I think would be great is the rent, the way rent's structured, and our deposits, so to speak, our deposits being locked in a smart contract and released based on, a set amount of time, the apartment or house not being damaged, etc. Obviously, the challenge is the real world human intervention, having to be able to go in and determine what that state of correct is, determine what that state of right or wrong, even up, down, hot, cold. Right? There's varying degrees of laws, the way we measure miles versus kilometers, or even temperature. It's different in different geographical locations. And a lot of this stuff is very hard to be able to program into a smart contract. So we also have issue right now with interbank operability, with banks being able to exchange money across borders. They do it with each other, but this is why we have MoneyGram and Western Union, which allows you to be able to communicate, send money with somebody across borders. These are the challenges that blockchain face right now, and having oracles like Chainlink and the Graph working with companies. I know Chainlink just did a partnership with NASDAQ. So now NASDAQ is taking their data and they're going to be sharing it to Chainlink's oracles. This provides more data for smart contracts to be made to be able to communicate to what that state of correct is. And state of correct can be the score on the football game. That makes sense? Where to get the data from to determine, a consensus.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen,
I appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Real Jared. And Mr. Wall Street, I know that your time is very valuable. We have been graced with an hour. We have about 4 or 5 questions. However, I'm going to run through them really quickly, and then not for you to answer. There's one that specifically asks you to answer, but I'm going to just try to help these questions really quick, and then we're going to close out and then make sure that people know how they can get in contact with you. You can definitely get in contact with Mr. Wall Street through the Virtual Underground Railroad. So a lot of the things that he's taught me and a lot of the things that I take as his tutelage, under his tutelage, I put in the Virtual Underground Railroad for different things. So some of the times when you hear things from me, you're definitely hearing from Mr. Wall Street, but you're just not paying as much, right? So I try to help my community in that way. We won't be giving out the curriculum from this boot camp, but some of the things that I learned in the boot camp, I do share in the Virtual Underground Railroad.io, for those of you that don't know about that platform. But really quickly, somebody asked, when using crypto to purchase items, will you recognize the gains and losses in the moment that purchase is made? and also is it subject to tax liability? So I think I guess to help clarify really quick, if they use a BitPay card and they're spending their cryptocurrency and they've got a gain at the moment that they spend it, are they subject to tax?
Yes, because BitPay sells your crypto out for dollars at that moment, whereas like CoinZoom, you're selling your crypto. Uphold, I think it's called Uphold. You're selling your crypto. I'm sorry, I said selling. I mean spending your crypto. Yeah,
Spending,
yeah,
yes.
yeah. So instead of selling it, you're spending it. I like when technology gives the merchant what he wants, won't let me spending what I want to spend. So there's programs and networks like Stellar, for instance. Stellar, their ecosystem has a exchange function inside, the smart contract, where when you spend, let's say, U.S. dollars, they're able to go in and convert and then give the merchant euro. Or if you spend Bitcoin and the merchant wants, Japanese yen, they'll get Japanese yen based on going into an order book and matching the orders from an aggregated order book. A lot of this stuff is done when you're talking about aggregating liquidity with exchanges that don't have enough capital to do so. CoinZoom uses an order book where they're taking your request to sell, right, at market into their order book and matching it with somebody else's order. So if I'm able to spend, let's say, Tether, I'm still not cashing out into US dollars into my bank account. So this is an event that I rarely do, guys. I rarely send money that I've cashed out to my bank account. That means when it goes into crypto, I'm looking for ways to be able to spend the crypto, whether it means sending crypto as payment because it's what I can use as a medium of exchange, or apps like uh, CoinZoom, Uphold, and there's some other apps that are out there that allow you to do so. But yeah,
All
be
right.
careful.
And really quickly, Natasha asked, what platforms do you use for investing in different tokens? So I'm going to just really quickly say to Natasha, if you go, this depends on the type of token or coin that you're trying to buy. You can go to Coin Market Cap to the left at the
And go to
bottom.
markets. Yeah, click markets. It'll tell you where. I mean, to be honest with you guys, I go where I have to. And most of these coins are with automated market makers now. Most tokens, you can trade them with Uniswap or, 1inch or Pancake Swap, depending on the blockchain. For me, I love trading non-custodial. I like bypassing the KYCs. So I'm trading with a lot of these pools, the automated market makers. I don't use your Coinbases of the world and your crypto.coms of the world. Um, I used to use fixed a lot, but they changed since they become more and more centralized
Yeah.
and big tech as they make more partnerships.
Yep, yep,
So,
yep.
yeah.
Definitely, definitely. And last but not least, Mr. Wall Street, could you please explain what and how airdrops work?
Mhm. I love airdrops when their tokens a good coin. Airdrop is just free tokens, but it has to be a good coin. I mean, you can get an airdrop of a token that's not going to be anything. It ends up being a dud, and therefore there you have it. Now, when you go on Coinbase, not Coinbase, Coin Market Cap, there's a section in there. It's like a learning section or education, something like that. You click that, there's lessons in there, and those lessons give you tokens for going through the lessons. Airdrops require like certain bounties, like assignments where they have you go in and like some pictures or post and share, comment, stuff like that, in order to be able to qualify for an airdrop. Airdrops are some of the best ways in order for you to get tokens. Some of the most famous airdrops are Uniswap, 1inch, and a lot of these automated market makers, the ones that I'm speaking on inside DeFi, they did airdrops of their coin. They rewarded the users of their ecosystem or their platform with the token when they released it. So it can be very good if you end up having a token that's got a good utility behind it.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, again, we have reached the top of the hour. Out of all of my coinomics that I did this year, they're all fabulous. But I submit to you all, oh, and the sister did ask how you listen to the replay. This is one of the coinomics that I would suggest you all find on either Facebook or Instagram or YouTube. Look for Crypto Blockchain Plug. That's the name of my exchange. We are an over-the-counter exchange that is brick and mortar. But go to our social media, find this recording and replay it because he dropped some serious gems and you will remember today. I will tell you that. And really pay close attention because I can honestly say I haven't been in the space as near as long as he has. He told you 2013. I really got serious around 2017 and been knowing this brother for about 2 years and nothing he has told me or shared with me, trading, coin, what to get involved in has flopped. And I'm just going to just keep it 100. It just has not. I take what he says as golden because he told you all he lives inside of this. It's not something that he does casually. He lives inside of this. I thought I sleep, ate and breathed crypto till I met this dude. He works as hard, if not harder than I do in this space. And let me just tell you something about that he didn't mention today because we're talking about the metaverse and we were talking about NFTs. But he showed me a technology, ladies and gentlemen, that I was in shock. He was in a club with his wife, and him and his wife was at the bar, and their NFT was in the bar floating with his wife, and they were interacting with the NFT. Some technology that this dude came up with. And so when I tell you he's ahead of his time, he was ahead. Anytime I say, how do you create a coin? Like when I first got started or learning with him, how do you create a coin? He sends me like 10 coins that he's written white papers for. How do you do a blockchain? He's got like 6 or 7 books of instruction on how to do blockchains. Like this dude is all that. And I say that again so that you can go back to the replays. You can listen closely. And if you think you're missing something, you need to go back, listen a little bit. This is one of those conversations that you need to do that. And again, he's going to drop some of those jewels in the virtual Underground Railroad very, very soon. We're setting that up. We're continuously filling it up. There's stuff that you won't see at face value right now because people aren't really digging in the safe houses. There's some things that we're posting back there that you haven't yet seen. But we are getting ready for 2022 because
it's life-changing, guys. Like, don't miss out. Like, there's a fork in the road. I want to say this. Let me say this before we go. If we move to a central bank digital currency, their money will not be able to leave the system. They'll be able to enforce negative interest rates. They'll then start licensing every way to make money because they'll be able to monitor the inflows and outflows of money to your account. And at that point, they can check to see if you have a license after checking to see how you made your money. This is financial tyranny at its finest. So imagine trying to get into Bitcoin then when their digital token can't go to this other network because they're not interoperable.
Things that make you say, So this is what I'm going to do. And I appreciate you, Mr. Wall Street, AKA our blockchain oracle. I'm going to ask you to come back in 2022. Okay. In fact, ladies and gentlemen, when I do my mastermind, this is one of the gentlemen that we will be paying or prayerfully able to get him back in the country so that he can come and sit with us and give us some education. And again, be able to really sit at his feet. I tell you, I have my kids come from everywhere to come and learn how to trade from this guy. And so I appreciate his time and am very thankful that you all spent time with us as well. And again, if you missed any portion of this, this is one that you want to go back and listen to. And with that, how do we contact you, Mr. Wall Street?
You don't. To be honest with you, I'm at that level now where, like, if I want to be contacted, I'll contact you. I mean, to be honest with you, I do charity. I do a lot of charity where I'm, doing give backs. I give free lectures, free courses. When there are free courses, they'll be open to the masses. Again, they're going to be doing a big push for me moving into next year. If you want to access me, it'll be done on Trading TV. All right. I would say subscribe to Trading TV, be on one of the live streams, but I'm a very private person now. I've made it to a point where now, like, I'm not soliciting for business and I'm not in the service business anymore. That means I'm in IP now. I'm in tech and I'm building stuff now. I'm on my Zuckerberg-ish, if you know what I mean. So we're in the boardroom trying to make change so that, there's many of us in there.
Well, you know what? I want to be just like you when I grow up. I'm looking forward to that. So, again, I appreciate you with all my heart. And I am so looking forward to you helping our community as we scale in 2022, do some of the things that we need to do. And I know since we got you in our corner, we're going to make these things happen with ease.
Yes.
I'll say it that way, with ease. So
if I'm alive, I'm going to do whatever we can to make sure we, bridge that inequality gap.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, I appreciate you. And for those of you that didn't get a chance to ask your question, just please feel free to reach out to me. I am in close talks with Mr. Wall Street all the time because I always have questions. And
if you guys get enough people gathered, Najah knows, like, I'll do whatever. It just needs to make sense. I don't like one-on-ones and things of that nature. Does that make sense? That's where you get into trouble for giving financial advice. Yes,
sir. We definitely appreciate that. And so with that, ladies and gentlemen, I bid you a fabulous evening. For more information, you can always reach out to my office and we will get, you can always go to his website. Again, not saying he's going to reach out.
No, I'm just being honest, you guys. I mean, like, I have a lot of people to reach out,
But yes, you can go to Reginald Ringgold. It's Ringgold. Ringgold. And that's for real. That's a real name for a real flashy brother. So, yes, somebody asked me, are there t-shirts? These t-shirts are for sale on the DFRtour.com. I got to get that right. But DFR stands for Digital Financial Revolution Tour. Again, I'll be on tour in 2022, coming to a city near you. But these shirts say Satoshi is a Black woman, and they are absolutely incredible. So yes, you can buy it on the DFRtour.com. Thank you all for your support. Thank you for joining Coinonomics tonight with Mr. Reggie Ringgold. And I'm just excited to have you. Questions, hands keep coming up, and they know I hate to close out without answering these questions, but I got to let this brother go or he won't do this for us again. So, because I know his personality, and he just will not do it. He'll tell me, you told me an hour, and it was an hour and 20 minutes. So we're going to hang up today. And family, if you need anything, please reach out, and I'll try to get those questions answered for you. Again, Mr. Wall Street, we appreciate you. Have an incredible rest of your day. And thank you.
Najah, I appreciate you.
All right. Love you too. Appreciate you. All right. Bye-bye, everybody. Hello, my name is Najah Roberts, and I would like to welcome you to the Virtual Underground Railroad. I'm really excited about this platform, and the reason why is because I got into financial services about 12 years ago, myself and my husband, because we really thought that we could be the change that we wanted to see. But the deeper we dove into financial services and the products that were being offered, we really realized that we couldn't help close the wealth gap, which is what both of us aspire to do. So the reason I'm super excited about this platform is because you're going to gain so much information. Listen, let's just keep it real. I pay a lot of money every month on subscriptions, and what I want to do is make sure that that information is at your fingertips so you don't have to pay for it like I have to pay for it, because some of these things I have to know. But one thing is for certain, inside of my platform, the Virtual Underground Railroad, we have a 360-degree program. We pull together some of the top experts in different industries to ensure you have the right information from people you can know, love, and trust. And so we're excited about this platform today. Every single week, I will be coming to you personally. There will be an Ask Me Anything session. You are going to be so glad that you're a part of the Virtual Underground Railroad. And I'd like to say thank you first and foremost for trusting me with your family and your learning experience. Have an incredible time at the Virtual Underground Railroad. See you inside.